March 10th. Is it straight? Whatever. Make sure this is locked in place so I don't have any more catastrophic failures on the way over, because I was rewatching some of my older videos. It's funny to say older videos when it's... Actually, I've been doing this for a couple months now, actually, because I remember one of my first videos I ever posted was in September, and I rewatched a couple of them. Because I'm an egotistical narcissist, and I enjoy watching myself. Well, obviously, I wanted to see if there was anything different, if I remained consistent, if I didn't remain consistent enough. All these questions. But first of all, Sunday, March 10th at 2:59 p.m. I'm having a little bit of a late start because I slept in a little bit. It was the weekend, so I slept in a little bit, but then I did the tragic thing where I hit snooze, but then I went past the snooze alarm. So I had to do a little bit of catch up because I wanted to at least orient today to the point where I didn't have to do any more work at night. So I decided to take the executive CEO decision to try and finish all my work today, or at least the work that I assigned myself. Like, there's obviously things I can do more to kind of prepare myself for the week, but at least the goal for myself for today, I have finished everything. And now all I have to worry about today as the miscellaneous things that we have to worry about is going to the gym, maybe going to Costco if I have time, because I know Costco closes earlier on Sundays, and since it's 3 o'clock right now, and I get to the gym, maybe it takes about 10 minutes, and maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the gym. But I feel like chest and shoulders do not require that much time, so I do not think... Maybe I'll have a little bit enough time to go to Costco, because all I really need is some egg whites and yogurt and some coconut water. And eggs. Actually, I need eggs. But I can always go tomorrow as well, but will be a little bit disappointed in myself if I didn't make it to Costco today, just because of the fact that, again, if I didn't sleep in, that would at least, at minimum, given me another hour of the day, which means if I were going to the gym an hour earlier, I would have an extra hour that I can use to go to Costco. So this is why I always feel the importance to keep, like, you know, maybe you don't need a strict or rigid schedule every day, but having at least some sort of schedule and guideline that you can follow really does help a lot in terms of, you know, errands, especially since those things, you know, close. But what was I thinking about today too? Isn't today some sort of special day or something? It's like March 10th. Oh, March 10th, Mario. It's Mario Day. Happy Mario Day, guys. Mamma mia, it's Mario Day. Oh, I hit on the little sound strips that, you know, we veer off the lane for a little bit and we go. That was actually really good sound, actually. I really don't know why I wanted that tangent right there, but today I am going to do it today. Sometimes I go today, I'll do it tomorrow, but today I said today, I'll do it today. And even if that sounded like incoherent nonsense, it made sense to me, so I'm proud of myself. You know, I'm going to take this ride on red because it's my right of way now. Another random topic, mainly because I thought about it since I thought of Mario Day. You know, he's got the Mamma Mia, the Mario voice, you know, the signature Mario voice, right? I keep getting this one account recommended to me on Instagram, and I think it's called LLC Signs or ILC Signs. Main thing to take away from it is it's a Chinese. I think I can't tell it's a joke, but a lot of people keep saying they're based in Guangzhou. I actually don't know what the actual pronunciation of Guangzhou is because I'm not Chinese, so I should probably ask my Chinese friends how to pronounce Guangzhou. Because that's the way I'm saying it kind of sounds a little bit Americanized, like Guangzhou. Where are you from? Guangzhou? But, you know, there is like this very cool and very intricate nuance to how to pronounce things, especially in the native tongue. Because, for example, if I were to say, let's just talk about Korean foods because I am Korean myself. There's the food called bibimbap, which if I were to pronounce it as, like, you know, in my native tongue and accent, I would say bibimbap, like bibimbap. Mixed rice, but, you know, if you write it down phonetically in English and have people pronounce it, I'm not really gonna, you know, hound on them for pronouncing it wrong, because if you look at the, you know, Americanized, romanticized, is that what it's called? Spelling of it, it's literally looks like you're supposed to say bibimbap, bibimbap. versus bibimbap. But then people be like, oh, it's bibimbap, bibimbap. Bibimbap actually sounds kind of cool right now the more I say it. But it's like the other thing too is like I as a American / Korean American with, you know, my accent being rooted in, you know, Koreanism. I just made up another word again. Koreanism is not a word, or not that I know of. Like, I could probably say Guangzhou, but then I also think, like, what is the actual pronunciation of Guang? And then I'm also thinking, like the couple of years I took Chinese in high school and then a little bit in middle school, the idea was like intonations or tonations. Whatever the wording is called, where you go like, say, even if I were to say like the word like Jin, they'd be like Jin, 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 Jin. Like, you know, I actually, hearing myself talk about this right now makes me kind of wish I stuck with Chinese a little bit longer, because it is such an interesting language. It was very difficult for me, I will admit that. Like, it was not an easy language for me to pick up. Is that car gonna come in blazing hot? No, that car came in blazing slow. My goodness. Whee! It's my turn now. But now I'm getting kind of curious. Like, how do you pronounce Guangzhou? So here's what I'm thinking. It's not Guangzhou. It's probably something like Guangzhou. Maybe I'll look it up on the internet later. Maybe I'll look up like a Chinese person saying the name on YouTube or something, see how it's pronounced. But my guess for now is something like Guangzhou. That's what I'm thinking of. I might be completely wrong. I don't have anything to fact check and prove myself right now, but what do I have? The internet, and I'll be looking it up later. But even, why did I even go on this entire rant? Is that there's this guy that his entire Instagram page is him like selling signs, like, I don't even know how to say, like literally signs. Like, the company makes signs and he advertises them, and it's really funny because each time it's, you know, a guy from China, but he always puts on a different accent each time. And I think when I first got like a recommended video from that guy, he was doing a southern, like American cowboy yeehaw accent. He's like, howdy homies, Tony here. But again, it's really funny because it's this very stereotypically, you know, Asian looking man speaking with the most heavy southern accent you've ever seen, or ever heard, I mean, not seen. And it's just funny because he's just selling signs. He's like, you ever thought about what kind of acrylic sign you need for your business? Well, Tony's got you here. And again, it's the name Tony. There's something so inherently funny about the name Tony for some reason. Like, if someone introduces themselves to me and say, hey, my name's Anthony, I'll be like, hey, what's up, Anthony? But then the moment you hear Tony, it just sounds sillier. Like, for some reason, if somebody made a joke and they introduced me to themselves as Anthony and they made a joke, I would laugh. But if somebody introduced them, I think I'm gonna go home actually. All right, fellas, I have taken some time to reflect, and I wanted to say, if somebody named Tony were to introduce themselves to me and then said the exact same joke that Anthony just said, I would find that joke a little bit funnier, or sometimes maybe even more funny. I don't know what the correct grammar is right there, because the guy's name is Tony. Like, just the idea of the name Tony, it's the thing too. It's like that, like, it's that's like sense of whimsicalness, that sense of silliness that just radiates from the name Tony. Because I also think of Tony the Tiger. Is that his name, Tony the Tiger, or is it Tony Tiger? I'm starting to think it's Tony the Tiger. You know, the Frosted Flakes Tiger that he's like, you're great. I'm like, wow. If Tony the Tiger tells me to eat 86 grams of sugar in the morning, I'm going to go eat 86 grams of sugar in the morning right now, just for Tony. It is crazy to think about that. Like, I used to think, whoa, we're getting some turbulence right now. I just saw it in the camera shaking right there. Oh, why are we braking here? There's no stoplight here. Why are you braking? Oh, the guy's turning. But it is kind of crazy to think about that. As a child, I used to think a lot of breakfast cereals, or at least the ones, you know, that you see on commercials catered towards children, were healthy. I would literally eat cereal thinking it was healthy, without knowing that I was consuming an astronomical amount of sugar and carbohydrates. And again, both of those things are not the devil. Eating sugar and eating carbs is not the end of the world. Those are still needed, you know, to live a balance. Oh my God, a dog out the window. Oh, they stuck their head back in. But just as much as with everything in life, moderation is key, and moderation is hard. And that's why we have vices at times. My vice for the longest time was fast food. And it's still a vice that I still battle with occasionally because I'm going to be honest, I find fast food delicious. I find it convenient and delicious. And I know it's not good for me, but I've been keeping it in moderation a bit better versus me 3-4 years ago that I would probably eat fast food like 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week if I'm being honest. And that is obviously when I did the Forbidden Technique 220-pound Andy at the 5'7" frame. Was truly a time where I did not feel the best in my body, if I'm being honest. Not even just like a mental thing where I'm just like, oh, I don't feel beautiful in my body. So yeah, I still don't really necessarily feel beautiful in my body, but I definitely feel proud of the hard work that I put in to even get myself to this point. But then there's always that little nagging feeling at the back of my mind where I'm like, what if I revert back to that one day? I always do have that fear, and I'm kind of feeling it right now to some extent. This isn't like a serious worry or concern that I have, but seeing my weight go back up, especially since I've been hovering around 170 nowadays, does make me think that like, oh God, I'm 50 pounds away from the old Andy. Which I know 50 pounds is still a lot, but that is still considering the fact that I used to hover around 137, 140. And then after a couple months of my bulk, I am now 170, which there's like a part of me, I'm like, did I gain weight too fast? This probably not even is all muscle. This is probably all of it was actually fat because I probably didn't have the best diet during my bulk as well. Like I tried my best, right? But there are times where, 2 McChickens, 2 McDoubles, a large fry, and a 20-piece nugget really do be calling my name after a workout. But again, everything in moderation. And I don't know if I'm going to consider myself on a cut now at this point, but I definitely think I'm done bulking because when I look back at these video recordings, I notice a double chin when I talk now. I don't want that. And another part of a bulk is, you got to gain mass so that when you, shed off the fat later, you see the new hard-earned muscle that you just cultivated. But I worked so hard for so many months to get rid of the double chin and see it back again, which, I do feel like I have grown a little bit in the muscle department as well. So I don't think the bulk was a complete failure, but I'll be honest, I'm feeling fat. I want to feel muscular. I want to feel, maybe not shredded, but I do want to feel toned down a little bit. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do my workout, and hopefully I have a more pronounced jawline in a couple months because of it. Well, because of that and also eating a little bit better. I missed the button 4 times.
Good, I got you. Two more. Push, push, push. Nine, good. One more rep. Big push. Nine, good. Back to the chest. You recover. Alright? Now, as you see, that one hits a little bit harder. So we're going to take more time for the break of the beat for that one rather than the fourth one. Take a little more time. Easy. Those triceps be on fire. You're going to feel your triceps. If not tomorrow, the day after latest, you're going to feel all of it. These are heavier tricep exercises. This one will go back to the forehead. Alright, another piece and then you're done. Okay? Stay tight with the elbows. Good. One. This one's a simple one, it's just the control and the start. Let's go 10.
Oh my god. My arms. Well, I guess not specifically my arms. My chest and my shoulders. I also did 4 sets of abs, but I only recorded one because, what was it? Right after I finished my first set of abs on the rope cable crunch, somebody started using the machine right next to me, and I felt kind of awkward because okay, maybe this is just me overthinking it, but the way the machines are set up is if I'm making a downward motion doing this, and then the machine right next to me is somebody sitting down like this, and I'm next to it doing this, and then they're also kind of shoving up, the side profile looked a little bit If you're just imagine the perspective, me going down and the person next to me going up like this, can you kind of imagine what that kind of looks like? So could I have still recorded my set? Because do I personally care if I look like that? No, I'm at the gym, I'm working out. If somebody calls that weird, I mean, that's on them, because I'm just doing my set, they're doing their set, and there's nothing about it. But I didn't record it because it kind of showed, like, I mean, I feel like I try to do my best to make sure not, the other people at the gym aren't like fully exposed in the background of my shots, and I try to make sure that they're always out of the way. But this one, he was just in the frame, full face and everything. And again, like, it could be considered embarrassing for him too, because he'd be like, oh man, that's kind of a provocative, suggested look at it, and I'm not comfortable doing that. So what did I just do? I just didn't record it. I thought it would be funny to record it, but again, that'd be having a laugh at the expense of not having that person's consent, saying like, hey, I'm gonna record this and I'm gonna laugh about it. Because if I'm gonna laugh about some things that I record, it better just be only me or people that I have consent from. Because again, I'm not a big YouTuber, I'm not some person raking in millions of views, but that being said, I am posting these on a public website. And I feel like people can understand like how random and how sometimes so easily people that don't even know that they're being recorded go viral. Like, if I were to just, like, again, it's not always bad things too, but for example, I do feel like it's kind of mean-spirited when somebody takes a video of somebody just being, themselves in public, and people go, oh my god, look at this weird dude doing weird things, and then boom, it goes viral, and then they're forever known as like the weird guy, the weird person, who knows. But again, that's why I didn't record it. And then the other two, I did leg raises, and I can't seem to do a proper leg raise with my legs not even fully straight, but even just, I can only seem to do decent leg raises when my knees are kind of bent. And I don't know if that's just how I'm just built like that, or if I'm just, need more work to make sure I get up to that point, but definitely need some work. I also didn't record it because I was kind of surrounded. For some reason, right when I started doing abs, I got surrounded. But today's chest, side delts, and ab day has been finished. And I also made the grim mistake. When I said earlier, I'm like, oh, I'm leaving at this time. So I was looking at my clock in the car, which is not set for daylight savings spring forward. So happy Mario Day, everybody. And also happy daylight savings spring forward, where I forgot, and I can't go to Costco because right now it's 5:50 instead of 4:50. And Costco closes at 6, and I do not want to be the guy that shows up 5 minutes before closing and I go, oh, excuse me, I need to go buy 7 cartons of eggs, 2 packages of egg whites, 1 package of coconut water, and I'm going to take my sweet time and then probably leave the site at 6:30, and those workers probably hate me. They're probably going to throw my eggs at me. So I decided to take, once again, the executive decision to not go, but simply go tomorrow. Also, it was a rough walk back to the car. Also, my shoulders are so tired right now. Even just holding onto the steering wheel at the moment, like, I mean, I can still grip the steering wheel, but like, if I just try to lift my shoulders up like this, oh. Well, let's break it down today. So today, also, I've noticed that every single chest day I've been doing recently, somebody's always taking up the hammer strength isolateral incline press, which, I mean, they have as much as a right to use it. I'm just a little bit salty that just the timing hasn't worked out. Maybe I could ask to work in with them, but I've always feel a little bit insecure when I want to ask to work in with people using that machine, because they're always a lot stronger than me. For example, the guy on it today had 245 plates on it on each side. Oh, I thought this man was dodging a big obstacle, but it's just a metal plate on the ground. Had 245 plates on each side, a 25 and a 10 on it. When I'm pretty sure when I use that machine, I use a 45 plate, and that's it. So it would be a little bit less ideal that if I were to work in with that guy personally, because then I would have to keep taking on and off the weights, and I don't know if that guy would be cool with it. Who knows? Maybe he's the nicest person in the world. He's very understanding. Maybe he re-racks it for me as well. Who knows? But didn't feel like asking. He also looked like he was locked in into that set, so I really didn't feel like asking. So I decided to just do the old tried and true incline dumbbell press, where I was a little bit disappointed. So I raised the weight on my chest press, the machine one that I did. So I was able to raise the weight on that from 70 to 80, which I was pretty proud about, because I did 70 last time for 2 sets of 6, I believe. And this time I was able to do 80 pounds for 2 sets of 6 also. So it's like a pretty linear increase in strength. So maybe that's why I wasn't able to do as much, but I was really hoping to at least do 7 reps with the incline dumbbell, but I was only able to do 6. Wait, was I? I can't remember if I did 7 on the first set, 6 on the second, or if it was 6 for both sets. But I will also say too, on the incline dumbbell, the last reps of each of those sets were pretty wobbly. Like, you could probably just see myself as it started going up. But it is what it is. It went up. And technically speaking, I guess in a way too, it's like going all the way up isn't, in terms of muscular hypertrophy, in terms of muscular stimulation, isn't even the most necessary. But primal part of my brain goes, weight went up, I am happy. Weight went back down, uh-oh. But if weight goes up and down, good. It is so simple that if you think about it, weightlifting or lifting in general is such a simple concept where you simply pick things up and set them back down, and sometimes you do the opposite. You have a push, you have a pull. There's so many activities that you can do that target so many different things. What a beautiful concept. And as I was mentioning earlier, the walk back to my car was extremely rough today. Oh, but let me break down the set because I got sidetracked again. I did 2 sets of, chest press on a machine, 2 sets of incline dumbbell press, and then 2 sets of the pec deck, where my first set was humbling and a little bit embarrassing, if I'm being honest. I saw in my notes that I did 100 pounds on that machine. Also, I switched machines too. There's 2 pec decks at the Move Fitness, and one of them I just do not like because something about the left hand, it's really wobbly and also doesn't feel like I can get the same amount of like motion as the right. So I think I'm just gonna take that machine out of the rotation fully. And if somebody's using the pec deck machine that I like, I'm just gonna go onto the cables and do cable fly press, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Because again, I did my first set on that and I started at 100 because that's what I had in my notepad. Did 1.5 reps, maybe 1 3/4 reps, and then dropped the weight. And then after that, I did another 1 3/4 reps, and I dropped the weight again. And then after that, I think I did like 2 decent reps. And then I just did partials afterwards. So that first set was kind of wonky, but then afterwards, I switched to the other pec deck that I actually enjoy using. And then I dropped it down to 70 pounds versus the 100 that I was trying to do on the first machine. And I was able to do more clean reps. And again, I know I don't have to be the rep stickler, the rep detective, the rep, I don't even know what to call it. Like, I know like form is important, but I feel like form is important to make sure you're targeting the actual right muscles and also making sure that I don't injure myself. Also, this guy's gonna do his silly little left over the double yellow, which I'm always not a fan of, and he's already blocked off, so it's not even my fault that he can't get in right now. So I'm just not gonna make eye contact. I hope that they're not mad at me. I mean, I could scooch backwards a little bit, but does he even have enough room to do anything with this? Let's see. I think it has been a success. I have wiggled on in this fella. Oh, but then afterwards, so after I did that, I think I finally cemented that, I don't know though, but I feel like I'm always much more try to be strict on my form for pec deck, because I feel that whenever I use the pec deck in a proper form, I actually feel my chest, like, maybe not explode, but it feels so much more efficient when I do proper form on the pec deck versus when I don't do proper form on the pec deck. I don't get that same squeeze that I get, especially like, you know how they said like you're supposed to like kind of bend your elbows at the end and like almost makes it feel like you're about to go for a hug, and then straighten out at the end and squeeze. That squeeze at the end really feels amazing. I really do enjoy that feeling. And when I don't do that squeeze, like when I just start doing partials, I don't get that same feeling. I do get a good stretch on the way back, but maybe I'm just overthinking it, because I have heard that there's what is it called, like technical paralysis, analysis paralysis, is that what it's called? Where people try to get a little bit too technical, too strict on stuff, and that inhibits their growth and progress as well. And maybe I'm starting to do that a little bit, but I have to keep telling myself that while form is important, I still need to get stronger, because if you get stronger, you get bigger. And I know that's not a one-to-one comparison, but still, it's like a pretty simple concept where if the weight goes up, that hence I am getting stronger. And if I'm getting stronger, my muscles will grow. And I'll definitely say I feel like I plateaued a little bit right now currently in terms of chest exercises and making sure I actually get stronger. So I think I need to do a little bit more thinking and see, do I need to stop caring about form as much? Should I just huck around the weight a little bit more so I could get used to heavier weight and just progress from there? But I don't know. I will say I do think about form a lot more often because main reason for me currently is injury prevention. And the second reasoning, as I said, is actually targeting the muscles I want to target. Because I got injured quite a bit doing improper form for a lot of exercises that I'm embarrassed to admit at times. Because, for example, I used to hurt my back doing dumbbell lateral raises because I would swing the weight up and throw out my lower back doing that. Which, again, pretty embarrassing. Pretty darn... Did somebody just honk at me? I can't tell if somebody just honked at me, but it kind of sounded like it. But then after my chest exercises, I did 2 sets of dumbbell lateral raises. But today I did them seated. I don't know why I did them seated. I just saw a bench open. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do them seated today. And then 2 sets of cable lateral raises into 1 set, which I didn't record, of the chicken wing machine, you know, the lateral raise machine where, you know, you have your chicken wings on and you just do this. And for that one, I really just tried pushing it to the absolute limit of failure where I couldn't budge my arms no more. And it felt nice. And afterwards, I did 2 sets of cable crunches, 2 sets of leg raises, and I called it a day and I'm heading on home. And the walk back was a workout in itself because it was extremely windy, it was rainy, and currently it is 45 degrees, and I'm wearing shorts, and my legs got very cold during that little walk back over, if I'm being honest. Was not the most pleasant walk back. And now, my day and schedule is a little bit postponed because I forgot about daylight savings, I forgot about spring forward, I forgot it's Mario Day today. So I ate a little bit too late. I'm coming back from the gym a little bit too late. So now I gotta play a little bit of catch up and making sure I get my remainder of my protein in, remainder of my calories, carbs, and fiber in for today. But I can do it. I can do it. And I think too, it might be easier to some extent since I'm not really trying to gain that much more weight anymore, at least for the time being. That can always change in the future. But for the time being, I either want to lose weight or just maintain this weight and just gonna cut down on the fat as much as possible now. So it might be meals that I care less about the calorie intake and, like, you know, having calorically dense foods and just making sure I get my protein in now, making sure I feel satiated, but also not, you know, overly too full, but making sure I get my overall protein intake, which I'm still trying to shoot for around 150, which I know since I weigh 170, if you go gram per pound, I should be shooting for 170, but 150 is the minimum I'm going to go for every single day. That is going to be the minimum. And anything I get over that, whoop-de-doo, proud of me, but it just gets a little bit hard because 150 has been like the magic number for me just because getting 50 grams per meal, I had like a good routine going for it for the longest time. So it was very, not easy, but easy for me to manage. But 170, even just getting that extra 20 in, just makes it feel like I have to add in like another meal here and there. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. Who knows? Maybe I actually can do it and I'm just being a little wussy. But on that note, thank you alone for tagging along today. Happy Mario Day, Mamma Mia. And I know this will be uploaded later in the day. But don't forget that we had spring forward like I did today. Goodbye. Peace.